The ballroom at the Fairmont Hotel shimmered beneath crystal chandeliers, packed with over 200 guests celebrating my father's 70th birthday. Champagne fountains sparkled beside a 12-piece orchestra, and waiters glided through the crowd with silver trays of caviar and gold-rimmed glasses. The entire spectacle cost around $150,000, money I'd transferred last month after Dad swore he just wanted something modest. I stood near the bar, nursing a vodka tonic, watching my brother Cameron work the room like a politician. At 37, he was perpetually unemployed, but looked the part of success in a Tom Ford suit that cost more than most people's monthly salary. A suit, of course, I'd paid for. Not that he'd ever admit it. Sarah. Dad appeared beside me, cheeks flushed with champagne and attention. There's my brilliant daughter. Come on, I want you to meet some people. He steered me toward a circle of his golf buddies, all wealthy retirees living off investments and inherited money. Gentlemen, Dad said proudly, this is Sarah. She does something technical with computers. Very smart, but too modest to talk about it. Something technical with computers. I was the chief technology officer of a cybersecurity firm that serviced Fortune 100 companies. My annual salary was $480,000, not including bonuses and stock options. But, to Dad, I just did something with computers. Meanwhile, Cameron, who had been fired from 6 jobs in 10 years, was introduced as an entrepreneur and business innovator. One of the golf buddies smiled politely. Your father tells us you're very generous, helping the family, supporting your brother as he gets started. Getting started. Cameron had been getting started for 15 years. I try to help when I can, I said neutrally. That's wonderful. Family is everything, he replied. Dad's hand landed on my shoulder. Actually, I'm glad we have a moment, he said. I need to talk to you about Cameron's situation. Here we go. He's found the perfect investment property, Dad continued. A penthouse downtown, $3 million. Incredible location. Prices are only going up. $3 million, I repeated carefully. Well, he needs $2 million for the down payment. The rest he can finance. It's actually a bargain considering. Dad, it's your birthday, I cut in. Can this wait? It's time sensitive, sweetheart. The seller has other offers. Cameron needs to act by Monday. Then Cameron should act, I said evenly. Dad's smile thinned. Sarah, don't be difficult. You know Cameron's credit situation is complicated. He needs help with the down payment. Complicated. Cameron had filed for bankruptcy 3 years ago after his third failed business venture, a bankruptcy I tried to prevent by lending him $400,000. Money I never saw again. Dad, $2 million is nothing to you, he said suddenly, his voice dropping lower. I've seen your investment statements, Sarah. You have plenty. This is for your brother's future. Something cold settled in my chest. You've seen my investment statements? Well, yes. When I helped you with your taxes last year, I saw the portfolio summary. You have over $6 million in your accounts. $2 million is less than a third. You'll barely notice it's gone. I stopped letting Dad handle my taxes 4 years ago. The statements he'd seen were from accounts I'd long since closed and moved to private wealth management. My real net worth was $34 million. Dad, I said, keeping my voice calm, those accounts aren't liquid. They're long-term investments. Then liquidate some, he said sharply. Cameron needs this opportunity. Why doesn't Cameron get a job and save for his own down payment? Dad's face darkened. He's trying to build something, Sarah. Unlike you. Hiding behind a corporate salary, he's taking risks. He's an entrepreneur. You should be supporting that, not judging it. Hiding behind a corporate salary. I'd built that salary from nothing, working my way through a state college on scholarships and part-time jobs while Cameron coasted through private university on my parents' dime. I'm not judging, I said quietly. I'm declining. Dad frowned. Cameron's opportunities always end the same way. This is different, he insisted. It's always different, Dad. Mom appeared then, face bright with too much wine. Sarah, darling, don't upset your father at his party. Just write the check. You always do eventually. Why make it difficult? She was right. I always did. After the guilt trips, the lectures, the "you're heartless" speeches, I'd always cave. It was easier than fighting. But not this time. No, I said simply. Dad blinked. No, no, I'm not giving Cameron $2 million. Sarah, be reasonable, he said sharply. I am being reasonable. Cameron is 37 years old. He's never kept a job longer than 2 years. He's declared bankruptcy, and he's defaulted on 4 loans. He's not buying a penthouse with my money. Your money? Dad's voice rose. Do you have any idea how much we've invested in you? How much your education cost? My education? I laughed softly. It was paid for by scholarships and student loans. Loans I repaid myself. You paid for Cameron's private school, his university, his first 3 apartments, and his car. I got nothing. We gave you a place to live, Dad snapped. Until you were 18. Same as any parent. That's not an investment, Dad, I said coldly. That's parenting. Mom's eyes welled up. Her lipstick smudged into a wine-stained smile. How can you be so selfish? I looked at them both, the perfect picture of generosity and guilt, and for once in my life, I didn't feel ashamed. I felt free. The ballroom glittered under the chandeliers, but the tension at our table could have shattered glass. So ungrateful, my mother hissed. After everything we've done for you. I turned to her, my voice calm but cutting. Everything you've done? Mom, what exactly have you done, besides calling me every time Cameron has a new business idea and needs cash? Cameron appeared like he'd been summoned by name, his expression already defensive. Sarah, seriously? Why are you making a scene at Dad's birthday party? I'm not making a scene, I said. I'm setting a boundary. I'm done funding your lifestyle. My lifestyle, he scoffed. I'm trying to invest in real estate, build assets, create generational wealth with your help. It's a loan. I'll pay you back. Like the $400,000 from 3 years ago? I asked quietly. Or the $120,000 before that? Or the $85,000 before that? The crowd around us went silent. Even Dad's golf buddies stopped pretending not to listen. Dad grabbed my arm. Lower your voice, Sarah. You're embarrassing us. I'm embarrassing you. I pulled free. You've spent 20 minutes asking me for $2 million at your birthday party, and I'm the one causing a scene. People are staring, Mom whispered, mortified. Let them stare, I said. Just then my phone buzzed. A message from Michael Chin, my wealth manager. Unusual activity detected on secondary account. Call immediately. I excused myself and stepped into the lobby, dialing him. Michael, what's going on? Sarah, someone just tried to wire $2 million from your Wells Fargo account about 20 minutes ago. My blood ran cold. That account's practically empty. It only has about $50,000 in it. They didn't know that. Whoever did this had your account number, routing number, and social security. They tried setting up online access. The IP traces back to your current location, the Fairmont Hotel. The air left my lungs. You're saying someone here tried to steal my money? I flagged it as fraud and froze the account, he said quickly. But Sarah, whoever this is, they have your full financial info. Do you know if your family knows your real net worth? They know about one account, I said quietly. 6 million. They don't know about the rest. They're going to find out soon. When the first transfer failed, they tried your Bank of America account. I've locked that one too, but they're not stopping. How many attempts so far? Every major account. It's systematic. I ended the call and looked back toward the ballroom. Cameron stood near the coat check, frowning at his phone. Dad was at the bar, also texting, his face tight with irritation. They were trying to rob me, while asking me for money to my face. I called Michael back. Contact hotel security. I want them here immediately. And call Patricia Vance, my attorney. Tell her to bring every document we have. All the loan records, every bounce check from Cameron, every wire transfer, everything. Sarah, are you sure? They tried to steal $2 million from me while I'm standing in the same building. Yes, I'm sure. Understood. Security's on their way. Patricia's 20 minutes out. I hung up and walked back into the ballroom. Dad spotted me first, smiling like nothing had happened. Sarah, sweetheart, I'm sorry we argued. Let's not let money come between us. You're my daughter. I love you. Dad, I said evenly, did you try to access my bank accounts tonight? His smile faltered. What? No, of course not. Really? Because someone tried to wire $2 million from my Wells Fargo account 17 minutes ago, from an IP address inside this hotel. Mom went pale. Cameron froze, his thumb hovering over his phone screen. That's ridiculous, Dad said. Who would? Someone who's seen my tax returns. Someone who knows my account numbers. Someone desperate for $2 million tonight. Sarah, you're being paranoid, he said, forcing a laugh. Am I? I held out my hand. Cameron, give me your phone. What? No, that's private. Then I'm calling the police. You can't. Just then, 2 hotel security officers approached. Miss Patterson, one said, we received a call from your wealth management firm. They reported an attempted fraud. Dad's face drained of color. And for the first time that night, no one had anything left to say. The ballroom was dead silent. Every chandelier sparkled like it was holding its breath, waiting for what would happen next. Dad's voice broke the stillness. Sarah, what did you do? I turned to him, calm and steady. I protected myself. Then I looked at the head of security. I'd like to file a formal complaint. Someone attempted to access my bank accounts without authorization. I believe it was either my father or my brother. Mom's voice cracked into a shriek. Sarah, you can't accuse your own family of. Of what? I cut her off. Theft? Fraud? Because that's exactly what I'm accusing them of. Cameron started backing toward the exit, but 2 security guards stepped forward, blocking his path. Sir, one of them said, we'll need you to stay until the police arrive. Dad's face went white. The police? Sarah, you're calling the police on your own brother? I didn't blink. You tried to steal $2 million from me. What did you think would happen? Dad's voice trembled. It wasn't stealing. We're your family. That money is mine, I said firmly. Not family money. Not a Patterson Opportunity Fund. Mine. The air went electric. 200 guests stood frozen, glasses half raised, watching the implosion of a family that used to look perfect. That's when Patricia Vance strode in, my attorney, looking like an avenging angel wrapped in Armani. Miss Patterson, she said crisply, setting her leather briefcase on a table. I have the documentation you requested. She flipped it open and began laying out folder after folder, her voice echoing through the stunned ballroom. This is a complete record of every financial transaction between Sarah Patterson and her family over the past 12 years. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sarah has provided a total of $4.7 million to her family, Patricia continued, eyes scanning the room. Of that, $2.3 million went to Cameron Patterson for failed business ventures, $1.1 million to Richard and Margaret Patterson for home renovations, cars, and personal debt. Another $800,000 for Cameron's mortgage, car payments, and miscellaneous expenses. The murmurs grew louder. Even Dad's golf buddies were staring, jaws slack. Patricia's tone didn't waver. Of the $4.7 million given, $0 have been repaid. Multiple loans violated their repayment terms. 3 personal checks from Cameron Patterson bounced. And tonight, she paused, letting it sink in, there was an attempted unauthorized wire transfer of $2 million from Sarah's account. Dad's face was ashen. That's not, we didn't. Mr. Patterson, Patricia interrupted. Did you access your daughter's tax returns without her consent? I was helping her. I'm her father. Did you share her financial details with Cameron Patterson? Silence. Did you or Cameron attempt to access her bank accounts tonight? He hesitated. We were just... Cameron needed. She has so much and... That's a yes, Patricia said coolly. Mr. Patterson, you've just admitted to identity theft, attempted wire fraud, and unauthorized access to financial accounts. That's when the ballroom doors opened. 2 police officers walked in. Cameron Patterson, one said, we have a warrant for your arrest, attempted wire fraud, identity theft, and violation of probation. Probation, someone whispered. I already knew. Cameron had been on probation for bankruptcy fraud. He'd hidden assets. I'd stayed quiet then. I thought I was protecting the family. Not anymore. Cameron tried to bolt again, but security caught him. The sound of handcuffs snapped through the air. Sarah, please. Mom cried. He's your brother. I looked at her, my voice breaking only slightly. I didn't do this. He did. You all did. We're your family, she sobbed. Family doesn't steal from each other. The officers turned to Dad. Richard Patterson, you're wanted for questioning. You can come voluntarily, or we'll arrest you for conspiracy to commit fraud. He stared at me, really stared, as if seeing me for the first time. How can you do this? He whispered. I'm your father. You stopped being my father, I said softly, the moment you saw me as an ATM. They let him out beside Cameron, one in cuffs, one walking with his head down. Mom collapsed into a chair, trembling. You've destroyed this family, she sobbed. You've destroyed everything. I shook my head. No, Mom. You destroyed it years ago when you decided my only value was my bank account. Patricia touched my arm gently. Let's go, she said. Let them process this. And for the first time in my life, I did. I looked around the ballroom. 200 faces turned toward me, some shocked, some whispering, others pretending not to stare. I didn't care. One more thing, I said, raising my voice so everyone could hear. If any of you received gifts from my father or brother in the last 5 years, vacations, dinners, golf memberships, that money came from me. Without my consent, my attorney will be contacting you for documentation. If you cooperate, there will be no legal action. If you don't, there will be. Aunt Lisa's hand flew to her throat. Uncle James set down his champagne flute. The orchestra fell silent. Perfect. I walked out of the Fairmont beside Patricia, leaving behind the ruins of my father's birthday party. Where to? She asked quietly. My attorney's office, I said. I'm filing a civil recovery lawsuit and a restraining order against every one of them. Sarah, they're your family. They were my family, I replied. Now, they're just criminals who happen to share my DNA. The trial lasted 11 exhausting months. Cameron was sentenced to 7 years for fraud and probation violations. Dad received 3 years of probation and was ordered to pay $1.1 million in restitution. Mom wasn't charged, but she lost everything in the divorce. Dad left her after learning she'd known about Cameron's schemes and never warned me. I was awarded $4.7 million in damages, plus interest and legal fees. Total recovery, $6.2 million. Their house, the one I'd unknowingly been paying the mortgage on for 6 years, was seized and sold. Every hidden asset Cameron owned was found and liquidated. My family was destroyed, and I felt nothing. 3 years later, I stood in my corner office overlooking San Francisco Bay. My company had just closed a $200 million series, C round. My personal net worth, $89 million. My assistant buzzed through. Miss Patterson, there's a Margaret Patterson in the lobby. She says she's your mother. No appointment. Does she seem hurt or in distress? I asked. No, ma'am. She appears fine. Then tell her I'm unavailable. And update security, Margaret, Richard, and Cameron Patterson are permanently banned from this building. Understood. I turned back to my laptop, to my empire, to my life, the one they tried to steal, and I rebuilt from ashes. A text lit up my phone. Unknown number. Please, I have nothing. Your father left me. Cameron is in prison. I'm living in a studio apartment. I'm your mother. Please. I blocked the number. People might call me heartless. A terrible daughter. They'd be wrong. I wasn't heartless. I was healed. And sometimes healing means cutting out the infection, even when it shares your blood. My assistant buzzed again. Miss Patterson, your 3 p.m. is here. The venture capital team. Perfect, I said. Send them in. I closed my phone, opened my laptop, and smiled. My family's chapter was over. My story continued. This time, I was the only author. No more ghosts rewriting my ending. No more thieves stealing my script. Just me, my success, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing that when they came for my money, I gave them justice instead. Fair trade.